Hello there! Ghost of Yotei gives us a gorgeous open world to explore, and of course it's packed with secrets, Easter eggs and amazing details you need to see for yourself. And we're starting with the people who made the game. Go over to Tsushima Coast and get down to the beach and find the Sucker Punch logo etched into the wall, and around it lots of Japanese kanji. These are the names of the Sucker Punch employees who made this masterpiece. I tried to use Google Translate to get a few of their names, like Max Townsend, who is a system designer, and Kelsey Bailey, who is an environment artist. There are so many names here and it looks so beautiful in Japanese. Bow here and nature takes note, whirling golden leaves around us. The video game heritage of Sucker Punch is scattered all over Ezo, starting with this armor set, which is a homage to Sly Cooper. The parts are picked up separately through missions, mainly following Shiro the Swindler bounty. There's a mask, a Sly Bandit color scheme for the Merc attire, complete with his iconic cane, and the Tanuki's Mischief sword kit to replicate the raccoon's tail. And I have to admit, from the right angle, it really does look like a tail. When you find the Animal Sanctuary Grove, look around by the water's edge and you'll find this mural depicting a raccoon and a long-maned fox. This is likely Sly and Carmelita Fox, who carried a red and yellow gun in that trilogy and now has a red and yellow blade. I don't truly understand what's in the raccoon's mouth. Any superfans can shed light on that? Oh, also a lovely touch, bow here for blue petals to plume. Another mural, this time representing one of Sly Cooper's enemies, can be found on a wall on your way up the Faithful Leap Shrine. Look for a side path at this point and you'll find a vacant ledge. Most people think this is pointless, but turn around and there is a frog. Cleverer gamers than I say this is Sir Raleigh, the bullfrog who put together the Fiendish Five in Sly Cooper, the Thievius Raccoonus.
I hate unexpected guests!
Listen, Raleigh, wipe up my family and steal what's mine, you better expect company.
Now over to another Sucker Punch franchise. Over in Ishikari Plains, the further south you go, a thunderstorm will begin to grow. Keep walking around the cliffside and the storm increases, and Atsu discovers the focus of the lightning. By a pillar, a sword awaits. Infamous Strike. This is a direct nod to Infamous and Cole McGrath's affinity to lightning. The funny thing is, the storm stops the moment we claim that sword, so this can only be experienced once. There are even more Infamous references to find. Make your way over to the Amber Respite Shrine, and all the way up by the pooling water, follow this path and Atsu will find a humongous mural depicting a lone warrior facing a flaming beast. This is a reference to Cole's final fight with the Beast Boss in Infamous 2. A cool touch is Cole's amp weapon has been turned into a double katana to fit the ancient Japanese vibe. Infamous Second Son is next on our list, and this hidden mural is in the house of the Kasaragama Master. Go up the ladder to find Delson Rowe, complete with burgundy beanie. We know it's him because of his flaming chains.
I think I picked up a new trick.
Yet another Infamous reference is over by the Budding Grace Shrine. At the very start, instead of following the main path, go to the left and you'll see this mural of a pink-haired, green-jacketed woman floating on clouds. That's Fetch from the standalone DLC Infamous First Light.
I think you might have saved me.
Oh! Her ability was to turn neons into energy. It's a little harder to do that in ancient Japan, but she's still getting it done. Oh, and be sure to bow here for a pink burst of petals. And time to bring all these Sucker Punch references back to the original game they made in 1999. When scaling up the Hakodake Mountains going towards the Enduring Hold Shrine, look out for this alcove, and this chap will be unicycling on the wall. This is a salute to Rocket Robot on Wheels, which was on the N64 26 years ago. Sucker Punch got heritage. It wasn't the greatest game in the world, you really were a robot on a wheel. Ghost of Yotei has a bunch of rewards for people who complete all activities. One most people will get is reaching the top of all the shrines and bowing. Atsu will be rewarded with the Golden Mask. Fans of Hideo Kojima will recognize this as the face covering donned by Higgs in Death Stranding, the Golden Skull. This is actually part 2 of a switcheroo, as Atsu's ghost mask was a reward in Death Stranding 2 earlier this year. I really do like this kind of symmetry between games. How cool do they look with each other's mask on. The reward for visiting all springs in Ghost of Yotei is the Fundoshi armor, very minimalist, shall we say. This was also in Jin's adventure in Tsushima, and back then many people believed it was a homage to a player famous for defeating bosses all alone. Known as Let Me Solo Her, they wore the least covering possible during playthroughs of Elden Ring, with a huge pot covering their head. In Tsushima it looked like this, and now in Yotei it looks like this. And you can totally have a red and white katana to double down on this reference. To my surprise, there is a TMNT reference in Ghost of Yotei. Look out for the Last Brother contract, and if you've read The Last Ronin, the graphic novel about the end of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you'll know where I'm going with this. In South Ezo, we find the resting place of 3 brothers, each represented by a different flower. The first is blue, so let's call him Leonardo. The second is red, like Raphael, and the third is purple, like Donatello. Their names in-game, of course, are different, and read each one of those and the mission begins. You'll be approached by the last remaining bro, and by the end of this mini-story, we dig a grave for the 4th brother. And can you guess the colour of the flower on the ground? It's orange, like Michelangelo. This is the resting place of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you should totally read The Last Ronin, it's excellent. Okay, now we're going to talk about Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. If you haven't finished the mythic tale found at the Forgotten Shrine in the southwest corner, come back later to watch the rest of this video. They gone? Okay, let's do this. We were all wondering what happened to Jin after his adventure, and although Ghost of Yotei is set hundreds of years later, we have closure on his life. We now know Jin left Tsushima and lived his final years here in Ezo, close enough to see Mount Yotei. Now here's all the references to his life. On the walk to his house, we can see Jin's crest, and by bowing here, the red leaves synonymous with that game will start circling Atsu. Next, at the house, we can spot Jin's horse saddle.
A saddle. Looks like it carried its rider through countless battles.
Which he must have kept for a very long time, because I don't think his horse made it through that game. Sad times. Then we have Jin's adoption papers from Lord Shimura.
Burned adoption papers for a clan Shimura.
Back in Tsushima, our uncle tried his best, but did not like our dishonorable methods, and ended up disowning Jin.
You are my son. Now I must continue the line of Shimura without you.
Next, we have the greatest musical instrument in video games, Jin's flute.
This flute is extremely old. Might be a family heirloom.
Yeah, it's definitely seen better days, but Jin could definitely bang out a tune. And up in the loft space, it's possible to find this.
An old dagger. Someone etched a name onto the blade. Yuna.
My footage was so dark I didn't really understand at the time, and thought this must be a gift from Yuna, who was Jin's partner in crime in Tsushima. But by changing the camera and boosting the colour, we can see paintings on the wall, and it sure looks like infant handprints helped make that painting. So I reckon this confirms Jin and Yuna both came to Ezo together and had a baby samurai shinobi of their own. That's just a fan theory, but if true, that means Atsu could actually be in the same bloodline as Jin. I know I'm stretching a bit there, but the evidence does line up. There's so much more of Jin's history to find, such as the first ever shinobi grapple hook we created in Tsushima. It's hung on the wall, and sadly we can't use it.
A rusted iron hook. Too old to be of any use.
Otaka says his hook will support my weight.
We can take the stag helmet and wear that, and it is the same one Jin wore to fight off the Mongols. And just like everything else in this home, it's falling to pieces, yet still a great callback to the original game. Jin's sword Stormbreaker becomes ours after a boss fight, in which the enemy uses Jin's stances from the first game to fight Atsu.
This sword will grant me control of the winds!
And this fight also takes place under the same tree Jin faced his uncle.
I have no honor.
And all this leads to finding Jin's grave, and Atsu takes Jin's original ghost mask. So I suppose technically Atsu is a grave robber now? It's been a few hundred years, he won't mind. While getting these shots, I realised another little secret happens when Atsu stands AFK for too long. When outside, there's a chance a small bird does this. lands on her hand, but of course she scares it away. I tried this a few times just in case she actually did manage to stroke the bird, but nah, she never catches it. So that was 30 secrets, Easter eggs, amazing details, and brilliant little references to Jin's journey. I'll be back again very soon. Thank you for watching. I'm Adam, you're awesome. See you next time.